Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. I've got to say I was very close to shelving it tonight and doing it tomorrow. I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I apologies about mentioning it all the time, but my work at the moment is it's just relentless. It's absolutely relentless. And I'm absolutely knackered, completely knackered. But anyway, you didn't tune in to listen to me whinge about my job. Excuse me. Yeah, it's Friday, thank goodness. I've not got many plans. I'm supposed to be taking part in a pub quiz tomorrow night. Me, my wife, and my daughter. Well, my daughter's getting to go as well, so taking part in that tomorrow night. Don't have any real plans. I absolutely need to get out and run. You can probably tell I'm getting a bit fat looking. You know, because I'm not going to entirely blame my job, but the job is taking a lot out of me at the moment, and the thought of going out a run in the evenings at the moment, especially with the weather as well, it's just not happening at all. Which means I've not ran for over a week, which I'm quite disgusted with myself. I really am. So I need to get myself sorted out. Simple as that. And the flip side of that as well is it means that when you're knackered at night, you just your brain doesn't switch off, and that's the problem. I mean, I was out walking the dogs about 20 minutes ago, and I had my work's phone with me, and I thought, oh wait a minute, I need to send another email. I'm sending an email at 7:30 at night on a Friday night. So yeah, I need to just try and switch off. But anyway, listen, I have got absolutely hee-haw to talk about. I've got some good questions. The only thing that I've been doing, what was I playing? I've been playing. I got myself the new Wolfenstein, whatever it's called. It doesn't matter. But I've not finished Wolfenstein: The New Order. No, the Old Order. I beg your pardon. I've got the New Order on the 360, but I've got the Old Order on the PS4. So I've been playing that. Really enjoying it. In fact, I was on a level last night where you actually get to play the original Wolfenstein, complete with resplendent 3D blocky graphics. But you look like current gen, but the baddies are all the sort of super zoomed in pixels. So that was quite good. So I'm enjoying that. I want to finish that. Then I want to make a start on, what's it called? It's a new Wolfenstein. I think it's set in America or something like that. I can't see it. It's up there anyway. I can't be arsed getting it. So I've been playing that. I was playing that last night. I've really not played. Oh, I had my. Sorry, we had. What did we have? We had the computer club last night. Yeah, had the computer club last night. But what I'll do is, I made a little video. I recorded. It's only 5 minutes. I made a little video for our Facebook page. So what I'll do is I'll let you see the video just now. Here we go. Aye, good fun. Really, really good fun. Always enjoy the computer club. As I've said before, it's my one time where I am able to completely disconnect from like life, all the seriousness of life for a couple of hours once a month. I just become an 18-year-old kid again, playing video games and just talking about video games. We don't really talk about anything else other than video games, so it's a great time just to completely switch off. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was on Tuesday. I'm going to see Star Wars, the new Star Wars on Sunday. I've deliberately been trying to avoid social media because I don't want to obviously get anything spoiled. Because you'll be amazed. What was that? What was the film? I saw a film. I can't remember what it was. It might have been the last Star Wars actually. And some twat, some friend twat on Facebook actually blurted out about somebody dying, and I'm like, are you seriously? And yeah, the person had put it on social media. Now I don't know why you would do that, because you know full well that people are going to be seeing it over the coming weeks. So why would you deliberately put something out there knowing full well that other people are going to read it and it's going to spoil it for you? So I've been trying to avoid social media. Looking forward to it. All I do know is it's meant to be really good. One of my mates, he's seen it. He says it's excellent. So looking forward to that. That's Sunday night. So I got the quiz, the pub quiz. It's actually a bowling club quiz on tomorrow night, which is Saturday, and then I've got got the Star Wars on Sunday. I had my Christmas night out with the work last Friday. Yeah, that's been it. But aye, so like I say, gaming wise, I've been playing a bit of the Old Order on the PS4, and I also got this. I've been playing a bit of the PSP Go, but I'll just go and get it just now. Actually, I've been playing a bit of this, quite a bit of this. Really, really enjoy it. But the one thing I don't like about it, and I'm going to actually do a video comparing both of them. The one thing I don't like about it is the size. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see that. It's just, I don't know, the buttons, as much as it looks really nice, I've not got big hands, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. The buttons, it feels way too cramped. So I thought to myself, why don't I get the original PSP again? So here it's here. This is actually the original 1000 model. It is thicker. Apparently the screen isn't quite as good. I think you get a wee bit kind of blurring with kind of fast sort of moving objects. But this particular version, it is really well made. It's heavy. I mean, to me this looks like a current gen thing. You know, apparently this is 13 years old. The PSP, which is incredible because it's still an amazing machine. So anyway, I'm going to do a video just basically revisiting that and why you should absolutely pick up one if you like old games. So yeah, that's what I've been up to games wise. You guys can sit down there. There's my piece of paper. Oh, there it's here. I'll just have a little drink of my tea and then I'll batter on with the questions. Thank you to anyone that's persevered with the They Did What Firebird software. If you've not watched it yet, go and have a quick look. You'll see it's something like 2.5 hours long. Now normally when I make these videos, the They Did What is a feature or a series that I have where I basically pick a software company and I can talk about it for a wee bit. I show you adverts, cassette covers, that kind of stuff, and then I'll kind of play some of the more popular games. But in the case of Firebird, I mean, it was ridiculous. There was something like over 100, something like about 120, 130 games were released by Firebird, and virtually every game I'd heard of. So I didn't want to leave any out. So it ended up, the video that I made, I think there was something like 60 games or something that I featured, and it went on for 2.5 hours. It took me about, I don't know, I started it maybe a month ago and I only finished it maybe about a week ago. It was one of these videos that trying to find the time to get in and do the voiceover and that kind of stuff. It just took me ages, and I was glad to get rid of it. And I'm glad to see a few of you have actually enjoyed it. I mean, I wouldn't normally make a video 2.5 hours long. You know, it's just too long. People get kind of bored. But if you've not watched it, go and check it out. But like I said, thanks to anybody that's actually had the stamina and boredom threshold to sit through the full thing. So kudos to you for that. So anyway, listen, I'm going to get straight in. I've got, I don't know how many questions you can see there. It's double pages. It's always the regulars, which I always appreciate. Mr. Bop MC, I have been enjoying your They Did What videos. Oh, just talking about that. It got me thinking, what were your favourite 8-bit software houses, both in budget and full price arena? Favourite 8-bit house. I mean, one of my favourite companies in 8-bit, they were one of the very, very early ones, and you know, they disappeared quite early on in the sort of 8-bit life, and it was a Task Set. They did two of my favourite games of any video games, and it's Pipeline and Super Pipeline. They also did, what else did they do? Did they do anything else? They did a game called Jammin', but yeah, they did have a very, very small number of games. I mean, I think some of the games they did were quite rubbish, but the fact that two of my favourite games were released by this company when they only released maybe half a dozen games, they would have to be one of my favourites. I mean, there was obviously companies like Ocean, they put out so many games, they put out some fantastic games, but I couldn't say, oh, you know, when an Ocean game comes out, I'm going to buy it. I suppose the other 8-bit software company I could think of, which I would always look at on the 8-bit, would probably be Activision and possibly even LucasArts, because their games and another one, that's probably the most, would be Epix, who did summer games, winter games. But these three companies, your Epix, LucasArts and Activision, they put out virtually every game was amazing. I don't think there was any real bad game. So generally, when you got to know that one of these companies was releasing a game, you could almost guarantee it was going to be good. Not every game, don't get me wrong, there was a couple of games that I bought that I wasn't too keen on, but you know, generally they were good. But then you've also got like Hewson, you know, Andrew Braybook. Maybe it's more programmers that I went for rather than companies, but then of course you also had sensible software. They did the mighty. Oh, I was going to say. What do you call it? Sensei Soccer, but that wasn't. That was 16-bit. But they did Whizball. They did Parallax, and they also did Microprose Soccer, which I loved as well in the Commodore 64. So yeah, there was quite 3 or 4 really good 8-bit companies that I would always, if they brought out a game, I was always interested in it. 16-bit, I know you mentioned 16-bit as well. I've got to say Sensei Software. You know, they made one of my favourite games, Sensible Soccer. Sorry, my brain is just absolutely mush tonight. I'm kind of struggling to stay awake here. Yeah, Sensible Soccer, Cannon Fodder. You name it. What else did they do? I can't remember. Megalomania. You know, they made some awesome games. And on the budget game wise, Mastertronic, they were kind of hit or miss. Latterly, they put out some really good games, but the early catalogue by Mastertronic, Bionic Granny and BMX Bike Rider, they were bloody awful, absolutely awful games. I'm trying to think. I mean, again, there was, you know, it's going back to, I suppose Firebird, talking the devil. Firebird, generally, the quality of budget games were pretty good. I mean, did they put out stuff like, well, I was going to say Kickstart. That wasn't Firebird that did that. But Firebird did do some great budget games. I can't remember who released, like Kickstart 2, Trailblazer. They were all budget games. Again, they were written by Sean Southern. So again, it was more the programmer that I really liked. And again, Lamasoft, can't forget Lamasoft. I mean, Jeff Minter is a bit of a coding genius. I didn't like every game that he did. You know, Jeff is one of these Marmite type people. You either love his games or you hate his games. I was kind of in the middle. You know, some of the games I just didn't get, but other games that he released I thought were amazing. So yeah, there are quite a few there, quite a few. But anyway, listen, Bob, thanks for the question. Next up, Doug Scullery. Might there be a natural limit to the reality people enjoy in video games, and maybe this is the reason you yourself prefer the older 8-bit style to the current closer and closer to reality games? This might be especially true when it comes to violence in games. For example, we probably all remember and enjoy the cheesy slasher horror films of yesteryear, but who would want to watch virtual reality scenes of photorealistic gore? Yeah, it's fair enough. So maybe this quest for absolute realism in games is futile, as it is not what most sane people would enjoy. Your thoughts? You'd be surprised, Doug. I think you would get a lot of people that would quite happily play games that had real, or not, I wouldn't say real gore, but real looking gore. I mean, even like, although I wouldn't say we're at the super realistic yet, I mean, I can't play, you know, what's it called, Resident Evil 7. It's too scary. And you know, the gore in some of these games now, and even things like, you know, the Wolfenstein 2 and that kind of stuff, it's getting kind of realistic looking. The funny thing is, one of my favourite franchises on the Xbox 360 was the Dead Space. I've not played Dead Space 3, but I've played Dead Space 1 and 2, and they're brilliant. They're scary games, but not too scary, and they're super gory. But I think it's not real enough. Sorry, it's not realistic enough looking that I can't tell the difference. I know that it's a video game, but I think if it does, you know, I think if it does get to a stage where it looks, you can't tell that from real life, then I don't think I would be into it. But I think you'd be surprised at the number of people that would enjoy that. I mean, you know, you just have to look at the success of like the Call of Duty games. You know, they are getting, especially on the PC, they're not far away from photorealistic. So there are people that like it, but you know, do I want my games to look real? Nah, I prefer them to look like video games. But yeah, anyway, thanks for the question, Doug. Now you've actually got another thing here. A suggestion: what about hosting a retro gaming end of the year quiz? Make it live YouTube broadcast. Prepare loads of retro related questions in advance, maybe even a few clips, pictures, sound effects and so on. Call out the questions and have the viewers type in the answers in the live comments. First to get the answer right wins a point and so on. You could do, for example, just straightforward questions, play a theme tune, and we have to identify the game and so on. I am sure you get the idea. It might be a bit of fun to do between Christmas and New Year. I bet all your regulars would tune in to take part. You know what, Doug? I mean, that's a fantastic idea. It really, really is. The sad reality at the moment is I can't see me getting the time to do it. Just with the work and everything else that's going on just now, I think me getting the time to actually do that, especially live, is going to be difficult. But what I might do, yeah, you've absolutely you've got me thinking now. What I might actually do is I'll put together a quiz, but it won't be live. And what I might do, I don't know, I'll need to think about it. I mean, it's just going to be for a bit of fun. I think I will. I'm going to take on board what you've said. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. I could play a game for a couple of seconds, play tunes, screenshots, whatever, you know, tons and tons of stuff. Maybe show you a sprite or something out of a game. So yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the ideas, Doug. That's really good. Like I said, I would absolutely love to do it live, but the chance of me getting the opportunity to do it right now is difficult. As I said, one of the as much as I'm glad that my wife doesn't work weekends anymore, it means when she was working, that was my time to get the computer. You know, she was at work, my daughter was upstairs, whatever. But because my wife doesn't work weekends very often. I mean, very, very rarely. Me getting the chance to do live broadcasts. I mean, I've not done one for a wee while. I need to get one done again. Is getting more and more difficult. Just trying to fit it in around, life is getting a bit tough. But thanks for the question, Doug, or the ideas. I will absolutely take that. I'll start thinking about it, and that'll be a bit of fun. As you say, I might put it out just before Christmas, or yeah, I might do that. I think, me personally, I always think of Christmas as anything Christmassy I want before Christmas. I always think after Christmas Day. Yeah, I would never watch a Christmas film after Christmas Day because it's past. Whereas if you do something like that before it, it puts you in the mood. So you never know. I might even get it knocked out on Christmas Eve, something like that. But thanks again, Doug. I appreciate it. Next up is Panther UK. What has been your best ever retro gaming related present? Now it's an interesting question actually, because my good mate Pete, on a retro tip, he's got a great channel. I'll put a link down below actually to Pete's channel. He asked a lot of YouTubers, myself included, if we could record a video no more than a minute long. Now I found that difficult because I tend to waffle at times. We were to record a minute, so a video no longer than a minute, and it was talking about your favourite sort of retro gaming, just exactly what you're saying there, present. And because what I had to say to Pete was, because I was I was an adult when I first got my computer, all my computer systems, apart from the Texas, which I got, I think it was for my birthday, I never ever got a console or a computer for Christmas because I was working. So I bought them myself. So I don't have that memory. I don't have any Christmas memories attached to video games. The only Christmassy type memory I could think of attached to a video game would be me and my mate would buy each other a present, and he would buy me a computer game from a C64, I'd buy him a Spectrum game. So that's about all, but I don't have the amazing memories that a lot of you guys probably have, getting a Spectrum, Christmas Day, opening up the Spectrum Mega Drive, because I bought them myself, so I lost out in that. I think my favourite, I mean, in fact, I'll not spoil it for you, but the present that I spoke about in Pete's video, I'm not going to talk about that. My favourite kind of retro game present would probably have to be, it would have to either be Evel Knievel, the little toy. It was a now if you don't know who Evel Knievel was, you're obviously quite young. Evel Knievel was a stunt motorcyclist. He famously jumped across the Grand Canyon on a motorbike. He used to jump over buses and stuff like that. I mean, I think he broke every bone in his body about 15 million times, but he was massive. He was an American guy and he was super popular. He was kind of up there as icons. When I was growing up, they had like Pele, who was an icon. You had Bruce Lee, you had Muhammad Ali, and you had Evel Knievel. They were all, super famous, and as a kid, you wanted to be like them. So they brought out an Evel Knievel bike, and basically it was a little toy bike about sort of your own size, and you sat it on this. It was a little kind of red ramp thing. You sat it on, and you also had a little kind of rubber Evel Knievel toy. But the thing is, it always fell off, so you usually ditched that and just used the motorbike. You sat this motorbike in, and then you turned the handle, and it spun the spindle in the wheel, and it had a weight in it. And then when you stopped, the motorbike would shoot off, and you could jump, you could make ramps and that kind of stuff. So that was, I can still remember the box. I mean, it was huge, big box, and it had Evel Knievel written across it. It was amazing. I might have to have a look on eBay. I dare say they go for stupid money. But I loved my Evel Knievel thing so much. It was a great toy. Yeah, I can even thinking about it now. It's exciting. It was an amazing time getting that. I never got a lot for Christmas. It was generally one big present I got. I mean, mother mates, my sort of best pal at the time, he would get whatever I got, plus lots of other things. Whereas I generally just got the one thing, so that's why I can remember that very, very vividly. An amazing present. The other retro themed present I got, and it was amazing, was Astro Wars. You've all seen Astro Wars. I'm not even going to bother putting a picture up. It's one of the little LED games. It was released by Grandstand 1981, something like that. So I was getting a wee bit older at that point, but this was before I had a computer. So, and it was colour, and it kind of looked like Galaxian. So it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I did own one fairly, maybe a couple of years ago, and I was disappointed with it, but I realised how basic it was, and ultimately kind of how crap it was. But back in 1981, the excitement getting this Astro Wars, it was amazing. It really was. So yeah, Astro Wars and Evil Knievel. Excuse me, Motorbike were probably my two favourite retro games. So thanks Chris for the question, mate. Next one, Batman. How do you feel this generation of machines will be looked at in the future? Will we be enjoying a retro gaming fun on our 35-year-old PS4s and Xbox Ones in the distant future, if we live that long, of course? I'm probably going to say I don't think we will be. Don't get me wrong, there will be people, like in any walk of life, you always get collectors. I think there will be people, in 30 years' time. I mean, I'll be 80 years old. I might not even be here. There will be people my daughter's age who will hang on to them, and they'll be collecting. They'll be collecting computer systems. So there will be a kind of hardcore bunch of people that will still have them. I think by and large, though, as we're talking, was I talking about this last week? I think I was. Video games now, it was when we were kids. Yeah, it was my mate Jamie was talking about it. When we were kids, we were there at the very birth of the video industry, and because it was brand new, it will always be forever etched in our memories and our hearts. It's something that was really important to us. It was exciting. It was new. It was the future. But kids my daughter's age, they've been brought up with video games, been brought up with smartphones, been brought up with 99 pence games, free games, whatever, virtual reality, taking selfies. So all that technology is just normal. It's no different to them than, say, I don't know, TV is. It's just something that's always existed. So I think by and large, I don't think kids my daughter's age will really have any real attachment to games. Yeah, they may remember a specific game, but another point that Jamie made last week was, with us, because of so many systems, you had to be in one camp. So Spectrum fan, Commodore 64, Amstrad. So we had that special sort of love attached to the particular system. So we look at the Spectrum with fondness, or what, the Commodore 64, whatever. I don't think you'll have that same attachment. I don't think people are going to look back and go, "Oh, I love the PS4," because the PS4 and the Xbox are, let's be honest, they're identical. They're machines that play games. Yeah, you get some games on one system, some games on another. By and large, you get the same game on both, and you can't tell them apart. That's the big thing. You cannot tell. You put the same game on the two systems, and I guarantee you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. You might notice very subtle differences, but that's existed since I would say the 360, the PS3. I don't think you can tell them apart. Possibly the Xbox and the PS2, Dreamcast looked slightly different, but back in the 8-bit day, the Amiga day, whatever, a Commodore 64 game looked completely different from a Spectrum. I mean, you could tell a Spectrum game a million miles away, same an Amstrad game or a Commodore 64 game. So you had that set it apart. And so that's why we look back with fondness all these systems. But I don't think, by and large, I think there'll be less people that will look at the PS4 with fondness. Yeah, you will get people, because you always will. Possibly, if I was still alive, which is highly unlikely, unless they can invent cryogenic something or another to make me live for another 150 years, people like myself, my generation, we're going to be away, so we'll not be there to keep these systems going. I think there will be people that will keep it going, but I think by and large, I think they just move on. In 10 years' time, we'll be playing the PlayStation 10. Nobody will even give two hoots about the PS4, I think. So anyway, yeah, that's a great question. Right, next up, I have got young Mr. Joe Hunter. Hi Alan, got a question for the next waffle. Have you ever bought a console because of a game, like how Halo is one of the main selling points for the original Xbox? There's been two systems that I can think of. Don't get me wrong, there's been tons of games that I've seen on a new computer, and like, oh, I need to get that, I need to get that. Like Ridge Racer and the PlayStation, that kind of thing. But the funny thing is, the first system that came to mind that I bought purely based on seeing one game is the N64. Now, like most people, I saw screenshots. The internet wasn't a thing. Certainly, I didn't have internet back in 1996. I saw screenshots of Mario 64, and it was quite unlike anything else that I'd ever seen. I know it's the most overused phrase that I have. It's mind blowing. It really was. It just like, wow, how amazing does that look? Mario in 3D. Yeah, it's not 3D, but it looked like it. So immersive. So, like everybody else, I saw screenshots of the game, and then eventually it got reviewed. I think, there was magazines getting like the import versions, Japanese versions, and it was getting like 10 out of 10. It was like the most incredible video game ever. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I need to get an N64 on release, and I did. I got it. I think I also I got Mario Kart later on, but yeah, I bought it purely for Mario Kart 64. Mario, shut up! See, my brain is jelly. I bought it purely for Mario 64. Now, the strange thing is, it's the one system that I no longer have. I did own it. I had an Everdrive cartridge for it, and I got rid of it. And the reason for getting rid of it is that was the only game that I actually thought was any good in the N64. I know there's lots of good games, but I just think it looks shite on modern TVs, and I don't have any access to any like CRT TVs, but it's the one system that I bought, and I thought, nah, I never ever play it. I remember looking at it, I can't even remember where the hell it sat. Excuse me. And I simply never ever played it. And I thought to myself, why keep it? So I sold it. And like I said, the only game that I liked, that I miss having it, was Mario 64. So that was the one game that sold the system to me. So yeah, Nintendo, absolutely, they were a success with that. They brought out a game that made people want the system, like myself. I bought it, and then very quickly I realised I don't actually like the system itself. I never ever completed the game, which is no surprise considering I give up way too easily with games. But yeah, Mario 64 and the N64. I don't have it anymore because I don't like the system. But that was the one system that I bought for that one game. It was basically the game that sold it to me. The other system that I could probably say I was like, I need to have that. I had the Commodore Amiga, loved it to bits. Had loads of games. I didn't have any interest in getting a PC until I was up at my mate's house and he showed me Doom, and again it just blew my mind. Here was a game that was genuinely scary to play. It was like immersive, it was three-dimensional, the sound effects were haunting, the graphics were amazing. I saw Doom, and at that point I realised I had to get a PC, and I did get a PC. I got a Pentium 60. So Doom on the PC was the system. I dare say I would eventually got a PC because that's the way it became. When I kind of got rid of my Amiga, the Amiga didn't have that much longer to go. I know some people would say the Amiga never died, but as far as being a commercial sort of viable platform, the Amiga did stop. I don't know when it would be. I got my PC in 1995, I think it was. But yeah, I saw Doom, and that was it. I mean, £1,000 later, I had a computer and I could play Doom. So yeah, great question. Thanks, Joe. And next up, down the rabbit hole for the Friday Waffle, here's a hypothetical question for you, Alan. Let's say an evil Time Lord comes to you and says you must choose between Mario and Pac-Man. I don't like where this is going, Kev. You're getting me worried. With the end result being the one you don't choose vanishes from history, along with all of the games associated with him. Who do you choose to stay alive? I hope my mate John Studley's not watching this, but I've got to say I would choose Mario, and Pac-Man could bugger off. Pac-Man only has, to my mind, really one game worth playing, and that's Pac-Man itself, but I'm not a big fan of the game. I mean, what other games has Pac-Man been in? He's been in Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Ms. Pac-Man, what was that one? Pac-Mania, I've said that's the 3D one. Pac-Land, yeah, that's the one where he runs from left to right. A few other kind of games with him, but there's none of these games that I would miss. But Mario, I mean, there's too many good games with Mario. So it would 100% need to be Mario. I would definitely keep Mario. Pac-Man, unfortunately, can pack his bags and bugger off. Second question, have you ever played or been a big fan of Mega Man? It's funny you should say that, Kev, because it's a game that I hear about constantly, about people going about. I mean, I think is there a new Mega Man coming out? Is it for the Switch? I'm sure I saw a video. Somebody was talking about it. It's a game I've not really played. I've dipped into a couple of times, but I can't say I've ever really played it for any length of time. I tried to play the first one on. It was through emulation, because I don't have an NES, and it is really difficult. I mean, it is seriously difficult. And the thing is, it's a kind of game that I think I would probably quite enjoy if I just put a bit of time into it, if I invested a bit of time. So I might try and do that. I know I always say that, I might try and do this and I will need to do that, and I never actually do, but I genuinely need to. In fact, what I'm gonna put to you, Kev, is there a game, bearing in mind that I've never really played Mega Man, is there a game that you reckon I should play? What one should I play? The first one, the second one in the NES? Should I go for the SNES? So I'm one of these stupid idiots where if I'm going to play a series of games, I've always got to play the first one first. And I know sometimes that's not always the right thing to do, because sometimes the original game might be rubbish and the third sequel or second sequel, whatever you want to call it, is the best one to play. But I'm like, no, I've got to play the original first. And if the original's not very good, then chances are I'll stop playing it and I'm potentially missing out on a better game. So what one would you say, if you're going to try and sell Mega Man to me, Kev, what one should I play? If you let me know, I shall make a point of playing it. I absolutely promise you. If you tell me what one to play, what is the best one to get into, let me know, I will play it and I will give you my feedback. I might do a video on it as well. And thirdly, PlayStation VR has had some recent titles that act as adverts for other games like The Last Guardian or movies like Justice League, and for some of these titles there's a price tag to play this interactive advert. Shouldn't they be free? I would say so, yeah. Why would I want to pay money to play a tiny little game for a game? No, they can bugger off. No, I absolutely would not pay for a demo of a game. We've never paid for demos, so why would we start to pay just because it's this is the thing that gets me, because it's like, oh, super new technology, they think we can just charge for it. See, it's going down the road of what we've spoken about before with in-app purchases, and you've got to play a game for 40 hours to unlock stuff. it's all about just making money, getting more and more and more money out of people, and I don't like where it's going. And that, well, I was going to say if that's true, obviously it is true. You've told me it's true. If that's the case, then they can piss off as far as I'm concerned. I would absolutely not pay to play an advert for a game. You know, no danger. And finally, have you heard Ryan Reynolds is going to provide the voice for Detective Pikachu in the new Pokemon movie? I haven't, and I don't know who Ryan Reynolds is. I think I've heard the name, but is it Burt Reynolds' son? Sorry, Kev, there's always one question you ask me I've always got no idea about. I don't know who Ryan Reynolds is, and I'm not a Pokemon fan, I must admit, so I don't think I'll be going to see that anytime soon. But anyway, listen, Kev, thanks very much for the questions. Please let me know what Mega Man game should I play, and I promise you I will play it. And the last one, yeah, that's the last one, I think it is. Ian Hunter. My family's lifelong passion with video gaming started with the purchase of a Commodore VIC-20 from Rumbelows in 1981 or thereabouts, and have stayed with Commodore ever since. None of us have owned a Sinclair machine of any kind, if memory serves. Now, I've toyed with the idea of maybe picking up a Spectrum as a sort of Christmas present to myself. Can you give me 3 good reasons for buying a Sinclair Spectrum in 2017? Thanks, Alan. I'm still keeping all my Commodore 64 stuff, by the way, or Commodore stuff all, by the way. Get one. Absolutely get one, Ian. I was the same as you, mate. I was a Commodore 64 guy, then an Amiga. Well, I did get an Atari ST, then a Commodore Amiga. I thought the Spectrum was rubbish. There is nothing further from the truth. There are so many quirky games on the Spectrum. You can get one. You can get a Spectrum now, you know, you can get a rubber keyed Spectrum, you know, for 30 quid. Get yourself one of the little SDE adapters, plugs in. You've got all the games on the SD card, so you don't have to piss about with tapes or anything like that. I think it's also got a joystick adapter, so you just need a Spectrum plus one of these. The Spectrum has got so many good games. I mean, Jetpack, for example, all the Ultimate games, Chase HQ, you know, I could Zombie, Ant Attack. You know, I would be hard pushed to say, well, I am going to say that the Commodore 64 is a better computer because that's the one I had. But I have learned to absolutely love the Spectrum. I said I'd never had until I bought a Spectrum, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, something like that. I just thought the Spectrum was a toy. I thought it looked rubbish. But nothing could be further from the truth. The Spectrum is an amazing little machine. It's quirky, it's got the little sound effects that are distinctly Spectrum. It's a wonderful computer, it really, really is. And to not own one, you're missing out on so much, Ian. So you asked for me for 3 good reasons. Ant Attack, Zombie, Night Lore, School Days, Trash Man, you name it. It's an awesome, awesome machine, Ian. Do yourself a favour, go and get one. Go into Gumtree today, or go into, what do you call it? Go into, I don't know, whatever, go into eBay. I'm actually selling a Spectrum plus 2 for £50 delivered if you're interested, Ian. Let me know if you're interested. I put it on, in fact I've got it on Gumtree. I put it on Gumtree about a week ago, but yeah, fully working. If you're interested, let me know. But absolutely, Ian, get a Spectrum. You absolutely must get one. I know you do get some people who will say they're crap, they're rubbish. I mean, I had a guy, I'm sure he's a guy from America, and he was going on about the Spectrum wasn't a thing, and he was basically just sort of slamming the Spectrum, how poor a computer it was. Anybody, as you know, I'm a computer gaming fan through and through. I just like computer games, and anybody that says the Spectrum is shite has never played a Spectrum. You know, if you like games to be fun, then you would love a Spectrum. So go and get one, Ian. Absolutely go and get one. So anyway, listen guys, that is it. That has been finished. Another waffle. I'm going to my bed now because I'm bloody knackered. Thanks as always for all the questions. Yeah, thanks for all the support, the comments. It's awesome. Like I keep saying, and I know I sound like a broken record, and I maybe don't come across as sincere, but I really do mean it when I say I do appreciate everybody that watches my videos, everybody that takes time to comment, to give me thumbs up. It's the comments is what makes it. If I was getting views but no feedback, the chances are I would probably have knocked this on the head quite a long time ago. I mean, I could not be arsed doing the Friday Waffle tonight, but you know, it's you guys. I do it for me and I do it for you. You know what I mean? I know people quite enjoy the Friday Waffle. So anyway, I am going to get off to my bed now. Thanks to all the support. Thank you very, very much for watching and have an ace weekend.